hello there. Today I want to teach you some exercises to strengthen the pelvic floor and also talk to you about exercises to avoid. Now, you may have heard about Kegel exercises, but do you know how to do them properly and why they're so important? Let me tell you, these are critically important. I would tell my pregnant moms that they've got to start doing their Kegel floor, pelvic floor exercises from the time of pregnancy until really the day we die. We need to continue to do these. But many of us don't really know what exercises, what muscles we're exercising, or how to do it properly. So I feel this is really important to teach this to you, especially as we're focusing on nourishing our beautiful vulvar anatomy and keeping our pelvic health strong throughout our lifespan, avoiding things like incontinence or incontinence pads. So first I wanted to show you some anatomy. So look with me here at the female reproductive system. I want to go through just core areas of where our anatomy is. So you know we have 3 holes at our pelvic floor within our vulva area and then all the way to our anus. We have the urethra, and this is where our bladder is. We have the vagina, and then back here we have the anus below our perineal body. In my vulvar anatomy, where's the vulva video, I went over this a little bit in more detail and I explained how it looks like the beautiful exotic orchid. So our vulvar anatomy is really important, and it's made up behind the flesh with really strong muscles and connective tissue that are really important to keep this pelvic floor up, to keep us from having prolapse, anterior prolapse, which is when the bladder bulges into the vagina, and posterior prolapse called rectocele, and that's where the rectum prolapses or bulges into the vagina. We can also have uterocele, which means the uterus is slipping down into the vagina, and some women will come with the uterus at the mouth of the vagina or even protruding through. So these pelvic floor exercises are really important. Now, it really, depending on where you're starting, it may take months till you see the benefit of them, but it's an important part of our anatomy that we really have to exercise regularly. Just like any other muscle group, if we don't exercise it, we lose the muscle strength, and it will, again, take some time. Another problem I see with people who are doing Kegel exercises is sometimes over-exercising them. Just like any other muscle group, you want to change up the exercise and you want to rest them. So that's an important consideration. But let's look here again, understanding where our pelvic floor anatomy is. So here we go over the vulva, and I talk about the perineal body. Here you can see it's between the mouth of the vagina and the anus, and it has transverse ligaments that cut across. And these are called the deep transverse perineal muscle. It's really important. They connect from our ischial tuberosities, and those are our sits bones, right? When we're sitting on the floor, those are our sits bones. Also, we have the sling of muscle, this triangular portion of muscle that connects to the pubic bone, and here at the pubic symphysis. Now, way back here to the coccyx of our sacrum, the base of our sacrum to the coccyx, we have other muscles that are connecting there. So we have this beautiful diamond shape of muscles within our pelvic floor. So if we look at it this way, where we consider this being our pubic bone, this being our coccyx, right? The end of the tailbone, basically, our tailbone, we have this beautiful diamond-shaped structure. The band in the middle is the perineal body. So when we're doing our pelvic floor exercises, what I want you to visualize doing is bringing everything up and together. So can do that. So bringing everything up and together, contracting this perineal body up, bringing these muscles, contracting them in. Does that make sense? Until I saw the visual of that, I had a hard time doing Kegel exercises, so it's really important. A way that you can check is to put your fingers right here on this perineal body, and as you contract your pelvic floor, pulling it up, you should feel it rise. So if you're home and you want to do this right now, you can. Ideally to do it laying down on your side where you're not putting any abdominal pressure on your pelvic floor. That's an area where we make a lot of mistakes with exercises, that we put a lot of abdominal pressure, straining. And when we strain, push out our belly, push down on our pelvic floor, we're stretching the muscles in the wrong direction. We don't want that. It's important to relax them, but no pushing on those muscles. So again, there are many different correct way and incorrect ways to do exercises. And I share that in a beautiful podcast I did with Michelle Kenway, a pelvic floor physiatrist. So now again, I want you to focus on those perineal muscles, thinking about them here, pulling them up as if you were to hold in gas and hold in the flow of urine when you're trying to pee. Try not to pull in your abdominal muscles, because you're going to be working pressure on pressure, and that's going to make your exercise really ineffective. But I know it's not a natural phenomenon. So think about it again. Think about your perineal body, pulling up on an inhale and really feeling those pelvic floor muscles come up and contract in together. Hold it for a count of 3. Eventually you'll get up to a count of 6, a count of 8, and then relax. So with your abdomen going in and out. Test yourselves when you're using the bathroom, like when you have to go urinate really bad, and try to stop the flow of urine and hold that for 8 seconds without any leaking through. If you can, you're a rock star. That's hard to do, but it's a good way to test to see if you've been exercising the pelvic floor correctly and you're making those effective contractions. But I don't want you to test yourself when you're urinating every time you use the bathroom. Maybe say once a week, because if you do that, your bladder won't empty fully and you'll have other bladder dysfunction problems.